Welcome to my Pecha Kucha presentation on the use of multimedia in education. Pecha Kucha, Japanese for chit-chat, is a presentation methodology to organize the presentation order of an event. Pecha Kucha night events consist of around a dozen presentations, each presenter having 20 slides and 20 seconds to present that slide. Speaking of definitions, what is educational multimedia? In education, multimedia is used to produce computer-based training courses, now called e-learning, and other reference materials or user manuals. Learning theory has expanded dramatically because of the introduction of multimedia. Associate areas of research include cognitive load and multimedia learning. Multimedia learning in education dates years back to the U.S. military and its need to learn complex and sometimes life-dependent tasks in a short amount of time, while maximizing teaching time and human resources. It is characterized by any combination of text, graphic art, sound, animation, or video that is delivered by the computer. In addition to military training, corporations became aware of the benefit of using technology and multimedia to train their employees. The corporate training group was conceptualized and began to create training documentation including instructional videos, job aids, and user guides. Instructional systems design became the process-based approach for training development. Special needs learners also benefit from the inclusion of multimedia into their learning experiences. Distance learning using computer networks increases learning opportunities because it helps to eliminate some of the physical difficulties that students may face when navigating a physical campus, and the need for special and accommodating equipment which may be unattainable. Morano and Mayer conceptualized the cognitive theory of multimedia learning principle, or the multimedia principle. It states that people learn more deeply from words and pictures than from words alone. The theory takes into account three main areas of human cognition, including dual coding theory, cognitive load, and learning as an active process. Modalities of instruction come into play when using multimedia to create or deliver instruction, as learners have different learning styles. Auditory learners might learn well when provided with a research aloud. Visual learners may react well to a video, and kinesthetic learners may benefit most from an interactive computer simulation. Instructional design and the instructional systems design model may guide the process of creating multimedia-based instruction. The ADDIE model helps the designer to analyze the situation, design a solution, develop that solution, implement the solution, and evaluate its effectiveness. A continuous feedback loop helps to refine the course content. When analyzing an instructional need, we are not really concentrating or focusing on the way multimedia may help with the solution. At this stage in the game, we are still very solution neutral. Only after either a learning or performance-related gap is discovered may we move on to the design phase of the planned intervention. So we put multimedia on the back burner for now, but keep it ready for when we'll need it. As design ensues, we are working to determine learning objectives and identify learning steps. Task analysis is also executed to determine the steps necessary to build competency. Multimedia comes into play as tasks are often demonstrated or practiced interactively using computer simulations, training environments, and through video and audio reception. Development of the instructional solution is where multimedia really comes into play. Whether classroom, online, or on-the-job training is being created, multimedia assets are built. These may include videos, audio recordings for a case study exercise, animated simulations, interactive games, visuals, and other multimedia-based elements of the training solution. Implementation is the time for testing of the training solution and is done in earnest. Multimedia elements need to be tested on each platform within each browser and at each location that the solution will be used. During design, some preliminary testing was done, but now it is time to eliminate all possible technical problems. Evaluation is divided into 4 levels, including learner reaction, learning, performance, and behavior. Other models include business impact and return on investment as well. In my experience, multimedia inclusion is usually very well received. Most popular types include video and interactive computer simulations. Computer simulations used in e-learning have greatly reduced the cost of job training by reducing the need for travel by instructors. Computer-based simulations take recordings of the computer application or software that the learner needs to be proficient in and provides demonstrations, availability to let me try, and skill-based assessments. Video has revolutionized learning in many vocations. Restaurants and retail organizations use video to train new hires on corporate policies and procedures, as well as for on-the-job skills such as cooking. Sears now embeds short video vignettes into their cash registers so that employees can learn while they are not helping customers. When teaching, it is imperative to accommodate both the strengths and the weaknesses of the human brain. Learning is primarily shaped by two memory components, working and long-term memory. Multimedia can help to stimulate both the visual and auditory sensors of the brain and may help the learner to be able to recall information when needed. When describing complex visuals, it may be beneficial to use audio only. When explaining visuals with words in text, visual centers of working memory can be overloaded. When you explain visuals with words in audio, data becomes more balanced. This helps to maximize the limited capacity of working memory. That helps for remembering. Learning may be enhanced when participants using an e-learning module feel that they are engaged in a conversation. A multimedia-driven way to do this includes the talking head. The talking head makes the simulation more believable and transferable to a real-world situation. This design principle is used quite frequently in sales training. Less is usually more. Mayer has compared learning from a lightning lesson that included 600 words and 5 captioned illustrations. It was compared with learning from the same lesson that included 80 words and 5 illustrations. Learning was achieved much more readily from the lean version. Thank you for tuning in to this Pecha Kucha multimedia presentation on multimedia inclusion in learning. I have discussed many elements of multimedia learning in 20 short slides. The Instructional Systems Design Model, the ADDIE Model of Instructional Content Development was also presented. And there was a bunny. Who doesn't like bunnies?